friends. We're gonna have another creative play session today. Today we are going to make some painty papers for collage and journals. I want to make a new junky art journal, but I need some papers in my stash, so that's what we're going to do today. And some of them are going to be done with these. I got some empty spray bottles and food coloring, just the liquid food coloring, and I just put water and however much of the food coloring in each one that I wanted and made some colored sprays. So we are going to play with those today. Let's see. I think it was like $4 for this whole set, and then just the spray bottles. Yeah, so that is one of the things we're going to play with today. And then we just have some copy paper. I have some wax paper. I put tape on it because I want to make some masking tape that I can reuse too. This is literally some mail. I figured I'd do some notebook paper. And I have some of these CD envelopes, some regular envelopes. I also like to play with index cards. I like to doodle on them and play with them if I just want to be creative but don't have a lot of time. So we might prep some of those. And then I have some like kids writing paper. And then I grabbed some smaller things too. I have these guest checkbooks, some little notepads, some doilies, and of course, a few book pages. All right. So what should we start with? Let's see. Let's start with, I think we'll start with this kid's like drawing paper. Do a few pages of that. Oh, I did not set up my little drawing space though. Hang on one second. So I just used some flattened cardboard boxes and I lay my papers on those so that I can move them to the other room. And then I lay some wax paper in between, because as you've seen in my previous videos, I do have kitty cats and I am working in my living room. And they like to be very curious. So I cannot let the stuff dry in the same room that they are in, or I am sure I would have painty paw prints all over my house. I also want to try painting on some wax paper. I've seen some people do that recently, and that looked very interesting. So let's just show you how these turned out. I think they turned out pretty cool. So yeah, and you can control the darkness. Some of them I added more food coloring and they got darker. Some of them just kind of stayed the same. So I guess it really just depends on the color that you choose, whether they're going to get darker or not. I also have some stencils. Let's try that. Let's see, what do we want to use? And then you can have another piece of paper at the ready, which I of course do not. And you can blot up the overspray on your stencil and get a double print. It'll serve double duty for you. So that's what you get from the one stencil. And then that's what we got from the other one. Pretty cool, huh? I like that. I think that's very pretty. There's even still some left on here. So, and you can keep spraying if you want more on, if you want to cover like the whole paper, or if you just want to leave some blank spots. I think we'll call that one done. And then you can also take this, since I am working on a wax paper background, you can pick up some colors from that as well. So let's just, ooh, that came out kind of a little more solid than I wanted, but that's okay. You can take and just kind of let them run if you have a puddle. And then I think that's it. I don't want a lot on these papers because they're going to be journal pages, or I might be ripping them up to use in collage, but I can always add more layers to them when I'm done. Let's do a couple little index cards here. I haven't used these on index cards yet. Let's see what that looks like. I don't know if the index card will absorb it or repel it. It might take a little longer to dry than the paper. The paper pretty much soaks them in quickly. The index cards look like they're gonna be a little more runny. If you wanted to maybe dry them quicker, you probably could take a piece of paper like we did before, maybe, and possibly blot some of it off. Yeah, oh, that's pretty. I like that. That's a nice little background. Do some doodling on. All right. Now let's see if any of this will come off the wax paper, or if the wax paper is going to hold on to it. Oh, cool. The wax paper is holding on to it. I like that too. All right. Let's add a little. So the orange never really got very orange. They pretty much stayed yellow. So I have a yellow and an orange, but I like pink and yellow and orange. I like those colors together. Now this one I think I'm not going to blot off because I like those bigger spots on there. So we're just going to stack that over there. I am stacking these on top of each other because they're drying pretty quickly, and honestly I don't really care if the colors mingle a little bit, because I think that just makes it more interesting as well. But so far I'm liking this, and it's a inexpensive way to get some color sprays, and it's very quick ways to get some color on your page as well. You can do, I don't know if this is the same purple I grabbed or different. I did have two different purples. So some of the food coloring does kind of turn out the same. Like I had, they were different purples that were labeled, but they looked the same, and the yellows looked the same, but that's okay. You can color color mix too. I did try to darken one of the purples with some black, but I'm not super up on my color mixing. If you have more experience with that, you could totally, ooh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. Wow. Yeah, if you're up on your color mixing, you could totally mix the colors and get, custom colors. I'm not that advanced yet. I just play with what I have at the moment. That one turned out really nice too. I like that color combo. All right, this paper is very absorbent. Cool. let's see. Ooh, it's like random blob stencil. Technical terms there. Oh no, my stencils are hooked. Oh no. Okay. Yes, it is kind of just a random blob stencil. Not one. Oh. All right. Let's do red. I haven't used the red yet. Turning a little more pinky on the paper, but oop, blue. I don't want to make mud. I should make purple. Ooh, I like that color. Nice. Nice. Very cool. All right. And we'll go over the top. Oh, very cool. I really like that one too. Sweet. Those are some really cool combos. Take one of these index cards, see if we can soak up any of the excess. I don't know if there's really any left. Didn't really do much. That's okay. Oh yeah, very cool. I like, very cool. So, let's see, I also have some notebook paper. See what happens with that. It's pretty lightweight, but I love a good crinkly paper when it gets wet. Let's see what happens with this. Let's just spray. We won't use a stencil at first. We're just gonna get some color on it. Wow. Like I said, that was supposed to be more of a navy. Some of the colors are very, very similar, but that's all right. Ooh, I like that green. Nice. All right. I like that. If we can soak up some of the excess before we set it aside to dry. And then we get a nice little coating on our index card as well. All right. Very cool. Oh, makes it transparent. Don't know how it'll be when it's dry. We'll find out. All right. Oh, I have some over here. See what we can do with that. Just wipe off some of the excess. Yeah. Cool. Well, the sprays were a hit. I like them very much. So I also have some paint. Of course, we can try some paint. I want to try some paint. Well, that did not do well at all. All right. That did not rip very well at all. But I saw someone painting on wax paper, and it looked really cool. And I want to try it. So, and I did not get my little, here it is. Sorry, little painty lid out before we started. My cleaned off art table is getting a little messy. That's okay. That means I've been using it and I've been playing. How big do we want to make the mark? So this is a color shift paint. I have not used it. Silver Flash it's called, from Folk Art. It looks really pretty, so I want to just try it and see. So the wax paper, I guess, takes a couple coats for the paint to really stay put. Oh, it seems to be doing pretty good. It looks like from the back. Oh, it's pretty. It's called silver, but it definitely has a purple cast to it. Just making marks on this. This will definitely go over the top of something. Could be a tip-in in a journal, could be a page in a journal, or just part of a collage for a little something. Definitely will say a thicker paint, I think, is going to work better for the wax paper. I feel like a thinner paint would just kind of spread, which also might be a cool effect too. So it's another rainy day here. I'm in Florida. Started off sunny. So I snuck in a little pool time, and now I'm sneaking in a little creative time. How about you? Did you get to create today? Did you get some time to yourself? Do something fun, if not creative? Did you get to at least do something for yourself? Or do you have plans later to do something for yourself? Yesterday, I did not accomplish anything. I watched a couple movies and a bunch of YouTube, watching lots of other people make art, but I didn't actually make any. And then, of course, I start to kick myself and feel guilty, and I don't know if anybody else does that. So I should have gotten up and done something to combat the anxiety, but I just didn't have it in me, and you can't force it. So I just have to tell myself that it's okay. You know, you're allowed to have it. It's my days off. You know, I work full time, and you need rest days. You need rest and recuperate. I currently work at a pet resort. So it's a doggy daycare and boarding facility. I love the dogs, but it is very physical work. And I am 53. I am the oldest one working back there. We have someone older, but she works in the front. Most of my coworkers are between 18 and 25. So it's definitely an eye-opening experience for me. But I really did not want to go back after Joanne closing. I did not want to go back into retail. And I had this opportunity, so I took it. I don't know how long I'll be able to do it, but right now I'm doing it and enjoying it. And I love all the doggies, but I didn't realize how physical it would be. And it's also outdoors. Wow, that's really pretty. Really, really pretty. That is gonna look really cool. All right, we'll see how that one dries. That one's gonna need to be on its own. Can't stack anything on top of that one. Paint's too thick. All right. Yeah, it's outside, and again, I'm in Florida, so it really takes it out of you. I'm just gonna do this with this paint that's left. So, don't have a lot of energy during the work week. Kind of come home and do the life things, and that's it. So, on my days off, I do like to have a little rest, but I have to learn to not beat myself up for doing that. Let me know in the comments. Do you do the same thing? Okay. So that's just a little little extra paint that we swirled on there. And then what we can do is just take, oh, I got these at a thrift store this morning. Little bag of spongies. Maybe we'll use one of those. Add some more color. I think I want the smaller, the medium size one. What color do I want to add to this? Decisions. Yeah, so there's no rhyme or reason really to these papers. You can do whatever you want, whatever you feel like doing, because they're either going to get torn up if I use them in collage, and there's a good chance, you know, if I'm using them as a background for something, they'll get painted over or covered up anyway. So it really doesn't have to be perfect. And if I'm using them as a journal page, they're going to be journaled on, which means they're either going to be covered with images or covered with more paint or have different things done to them. So we're not looking for anything perfect. We're really just looking to get past the blank page. Now let's see what happens if I put a little spray on top too. The paint's going to resist the spray. Yeah. I like. And again, I probably could, I don't know how dry that paint is yet, actually we gotta be a little quicker, and put a piece of paper on top and possibly, notebook paper has holes in it, possibly get a print off of it and get 2 pages out of one. Well, not much, but a little bit. You can also just put some paint down. I like to just smush it. See what you get. That's a fun one too. Oh, it's like a Rorschach. What did you get? What is on the paper? What does that ink blot look like to you? Looks like ginkgo leaves. That's the first thing that came to mind. Add a little spray to this one too. All right, and I'm not going to blot this one. I'm going to let this one dry as is. And I'm just stacking all these on top of each other, except for the wax paper one, because I know that one will spread. I found some of these in my stash. I also have some sponge stamps. They're like little kids' sponge stamps. You can stamp with those on your papers if you'd like. Yeah, if I can figure out how to get them open. Probably should have done this before I started the video, but all right, there we go. Let's do the stars and moon. So we'll use this little dauber. And you know, something else you can do too. I have like these scrapbook papers that maybe they're not my favorite. It's a way for you to use up some scrapbook papers that you're not necessarily feeling the design on. And want a way to use those up. So you can definitely just put out enough paint to just dip the stamp in. I'm going to use my little tool that I made the circles with before and just put it on that way. And kind of blended with the color that I had on. And again, there's no right or wrong. If you want to go for a design, you certainly can. You know, if you want this moon in a particular spot and you want the stars around it. But I'm just going for random. I'm gonna tear it up, use it up, do something with it later. Papers. Make embellishments, things like that. Art journals, junk journals. I'm going to be making I got inspired to make an accordion style junk journal. They look really interesting, but I need some papers, some background papers for it. So I thought I would take you on the trip to making those. So that's another option, is those little spongy stamps. You can also just empty off your sponge stamp, and I like that the color is mixing. I like that very much. Cool. And like I said, there will be more going on this. And then, let's just see. A couple little sprays too. Yeah. All right. And I think we all have those scrapbook papers. You buy the books of scrapbook paper because you like some of them, and then you have these kind of ones that you're like, that's not really the greatest thing for me. Use them up like that. Use them in collage papers, paint over them. Make journal pages out of them. Make another little index card. I'll just stamp on my wax paper or my under paper. Keep that too. All right. What else do we want? What else do we got over here? Oh, we have our CD envelopes and our regular envelopes. So these, if you want to keep the little plastic part clear because you want to tuck something in here, then you'll either need to make a template to cover that if you want to spray it, or use something else around the edges. I don't know if it would blot off. Well, we'll try it and see. I'm just going to use up some of this on here because I have it sitting here. And you could even do, if you didn't want the dots, you could just swirl it like that. Use up some on here. Oh, I like that. All right. So let's see if we spray this. See what happens. Or you may want it colored. I don't know if it'll dry on there and keep it colored, but you definitely, oh yeah, that's gonna blot it right off. Oh, cool, there you go. There you go. And it gives you a little bit of something. And then you could definitely set it aside and see if it would dry on that plastic. you might be better off with an acrylic spray. I don't know if that food dye would dry on the like acetate part or not. This is the first time using the food color spray, so I don't know exactly how it's going to dry. Well, I mean, obviously the paper is going to soak it up. I know that that works because I've seen other people do it. But I don't know about on. And if you wanted it to run, you probably could get it wetter or spray more color on if you wanted it maybe to run a little bit. This is just water. But there's that. Put that over there to dry. I like the polka dots on this one. I'm not going to do anything else to this one for now. Just going to leave it like that. And then leave this paper here. I'm going to do something on the back side of this envelope. So I don't know about spraying this because it does have the adhesive on it. And I'm afraid if I spray it, it's going to activate the adhesive and my envelope will be sealed shut. So I don't know about that. So just be aware of that flap. May need to cover it with something if you're not wanting the adhesive to activate. I don't even know when I use it in my journal if the adhesive activate. Well, maybe if it's covered with paint it won't. I don't know. What do we want to do on this one? What do we want to do on this one? I don't know. I don't know. Should we just drip some paint on it and see what happens? Sure. The wet paint might activate the adhesive. Who knows? Ooh, that squished inside. That was pretty cool. Well, let's just do this. I don't know what happened there, if my sponge was coming off. Wow, I did not expect the paint to smush down inside. Ooh, that's a really cool one. Very cool. Let's see. My credit card here. Ooh, I like those colors together. Oh, I just destroyed my cool Rorschach. Ha! Oh well. Interesting. I'm getting very liquidy. That's all right. So if you plan on using these as is, then you may want to get the paint all the way to the edge. I don't know if I'm going to be using these as is. I feel like I'll probably be doing some more to them when I decide what I'm going to use them for. But for right now, I just playing, getting some basic colors down. I don't know. Why is this? So some of my paints have been sitting around for a while. I think they're getting a little, there we go. Runny. Ugh. All right. All right. Well, that didn't turn out the prettiest, but it's okay. Set it over there. I'm just going to leave that one like it is too. And then I don't know, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? We want to do another, what about the paint on the notebook paper? Green is my favorite color, and they say when you put any collection of stuff together, you can kind of tell what color you gravitate towards. Well, I have a lot of greens and blues, but I am also a big neon girly. I love me some neon. So let's do that. And add a little bit of this one too. This one's really pretty color. Like I said, I like pink and orange together. We're just gonna do a little spreading. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. Like that color combo. Nice. What if I were to spray a little bit over the top? Huh. We'll see how it dries. See what it looks like when dry. All right, and if you could flip them over too, like especially with the paint scraping, it dries pretty quick if you wanted to do both sides of them. I'm not really worried about doing both sides right now because that'll give me, if I do put them together for a journal, it'll give me some blank pages to work with and some prepped pages to work with. So, and I think for my accordion journal, I'm going to be gluing a couple pages together because I want it to be more sturdy. So I'm not worried about the back side of the paper. But again, you could easily just flip it over, or once they're dry, just do all this play again. Take them and play on the other side. And sometimes it can just, so I got this gouache and I have not played with it, and I don't really know. Oh, look at that, brand new. I have not played with gouache. Ooh, beautiful color though. So I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think it works like a watercolor, but dries like an acrylic kind of. But I wanted to play with it. Now I'm making a mess. All right, just wipe it on the paper. It all adds to part of the background. So let's see. And obviously, you should probably have like watercolor paper or mixed media paper. Ooh, that's cool. It's like creamy. Ooh. Ooh, I like the texture of that. That's very cool. Okay, I feel like I just need a big flower up here in the corner. That is so cool. Wow. That will be really fun to actually paint with. But that's a pretty cool paper. And I definitely can see me doing something with that. So that was acrylic gouache in Hooker's Green. And that's more of a fine art paint. but you can use whatever. That paint's really smooth, really cool to work with. I like that. Okay, so I think you get the gist. I even have this. This was from when I went and got my pool tested, and it was just laying around. So I thought I could do something, just use it, junk journal, whatever. So I'm just gonna put a little, just gonna scrape a little gesso on it. My gesso needs to be mixed up. Just to kind of knock back the writing. And for this one, I'm going to just flip it over and do the other side too. It also makes the paper, gives paper more body too, because it's a pretty thin piece of paper. I don't know which side I'm going to use, but well, probably not the one with the address on it there. I'll just cover that up. Thought this paper was safe to use. All right, just set this over here in my, okay, now this one is pretty wet, so I don't think I want to set that on top. A piece of wax paper between it. All right, and I will set that on top of the wax paper. All right. So that's just some ideas to just make some collage papers and painty papers, things to use in your journals, your collages, background for some mixed media pieces, whatever you feel like doing. So, and it's also just some mindless creating. If you're an overthinker like I am, I'm very bad at overthinking. That can help loosen you up a little bit. You can even do it like before you want to make, you know, some art or some journal pages or something like that. If you need a little something to loosen you up, get the juices flowing. Just using up what was left on my credit card here. That's a good way to do that. And it's just fun. It's a fun, relaxing way. Get your mind off things. Nothing feels better than getting your hands all painty, your fingers all painty. So I hope that you enjoyed our little hangout today. And I hope that it took your mind off of anything you had going on. Remember, creative play keeps anxiety at bay. And join me for my next one. Do something creative, do the thing. Have a great day.